Namaste, and welcome to your pregnancy yoga series on Body Talk. I'm Katie Appleton, the founder and director of Apple Yoga. We're doing a standing flow today, so coming to a comfortable position, legs hips width or wider dependent on the trimester that you're in, so wider if you're later, a little narrower if you're not. This flow is conducive for women mainly in their second trimester. However, anyone can do this. Just go at your own pace. So we're going to start off with the breath to center the body and mind. You can take one hand to your precious baby and the other hand to your heart. You're welcome to close your eyes and start to find your breath again, becoming more conscious of it. As you inhale through the nose, allow the lungs to fill and expand, and as you exhale through the nose, gently draw your baby closer in towards you, like you're hugging them. A few more rounds of breath going at your own pace. Use my voice as a guide. Inhaling through the nose. And as you exhale through your nose or your mouth, gently hug your baby towards you. Lovely. Last time. Inhaling through the nose. And exhaling through your nose or mouth, drawing your baby back. So we're going to start with some squats to strengthen up the legs. Take the legs wider, at least as I have here. Hips width or wider, toes turn out, arms go wide, in breath. Lift the heart and the head, stretch away from your pelvis, and as you exhale, come into yogic squat. Elbows press against thighs. One more of those. Inhale, press the feet into the floor to lift up towards your hands, and then exhale down the midline. And again, exhale, press the elbows down into your thighs. This next one we're going to hold. Take the arms wide, inhale. And staying in the position for a few rounds of breath. This is going to challenge the legs, and that's a good thing. We want our legs and hips to be very strong as the body changes and the spine has a different duress on it. So keep the breath going on. So in the second trimester, reach the arms forwards, in breath, and then root the arm bones back into the shoulders, out breath. I know, it's strong. Stay here, lift the arms by your ears. In the second trimester, we tend to get more of that vital energy back. So doing squats and holding them for a duration of time seem possible. Coming all the way up, inhale, well done. And take your hands back into prayer pose and bring your legs together. Keep the breath going on. You might have felt the cardiovascular system lifting a little bit right now. And if you need to, exhale through your mouth. Keeping the legs together, rooting them down into the floor. Hug your hips into the midline. Take one hand onto the hip. Reach the other arm wide. In breath. Press the hand into the hip and lift up and over. Exhale. Again, excellent for toning the sides of the waist, which is still possible when pregnant. Exhaling. Good. Two more of those. Root the opposite heel into the floor to give you the maximum lift inside this position. Staying on that side, taking a few rounds of breath here. And as you breathe, lift your sternum up whilst rooting your feet down. Last time, come back to center, breath. And then exhaling. Lift the sternum, root the heels down. Excellent. Come back to center, inhale, and take the hands into prayer pose, exhale. Moving into the prenatal sun salutation. So come forwards to the top of your mat, and we're going to start through a squatting position. Take your arms wide, inhale. Move all the way down to the floor, fingertips in alignment with the toes, exhale. Excellent. Step your right leg back into a running lunge. Inhale. Keep the breath going on and move your hands underneath your shoulders. And then place your right knee or left knee down to the floor. Continue to breathe here. And you might get quite a strong stretch, which is fine, through that front hip flexor, the psoas muscle. Lift the sternum up as high as you can. And then take the hands to the floor, knees to the floor, and come onto all fours. Hands shoulders width apart, knees a comfortable distance apart or wider if you're in your later trimesters. Look forwards, cat-cow, inhale. Root the shin bones and feet down, the hands down, and draw your baby gently up towards you as you open your back up. Inhaling. So this is excellent for the spine. As your baby grows more up and your uterus grows more up out of the pelvis, the lower back tends to get a little bit compressed because of that, the bump coming forward. So these movements can be really excellent just to open the joints between each of the lower back vertebrae. Beautiful. Look forwards, in breath. Turn your toes underneath you, exhale. Keep the breath going on. Take your right hand closer to the midline and then move your right foot by pushing the feet into the floor and stepping the right leg forwards. If it doesn't quite go, simply bring it forwards. You're going to reverse backwards now. Use your pelvic floor muscles, lift them up to help you step forwards into a squatting position. Exhale. We're going to walk the hands all the way up the thighs. And you can take the arms wide if you're not feeling lightheaded to the ceiling. If you're feeling lightheaded, then simply just take them back into prayer pose without lifting them above the head. Second side, arms go wide, breathe in. Nose or mouth, breathe out. Left leg steps back or other leg steps back, inhale. Keep the breath going on and place the knee down to the floor. If it doesn't feel comfortable to be this far forwards, just lift the hips back a little bit and stay here, no problem. Remember, we're coming into all fours now, so take the hands to the floor, the knees onto the floor. Fingers spread, knuckles pressed down, look forwards, broaden the collarbones. And as you exhale, root the hands, the feet, and the shins into the floor as you gently look and say hello to your baby. Lengthening forwards, in breath. 2 more, out breath. Last one, in breath. And out breath. Coming forwards with the same leg that you stepped back. So turn the toes behind you, breathe. Take the left hand or the other hand to the midline a little so you have space for your foot to step. Continuing to breathe, bring your hips back, use your pelvic floor muscles, lift them up to engage as you step forwards, just for safety, and then coming all the way upwards to a standing position. And remember, if you are feeling lightheaded, simply bring the hands back into prayer pose without lifting them. So moving into the last part of this flow, take the hands onto your hips and step your leg backwards. So it's about one of your legs' length apart, and you want your heels to be in alignment, just for stability. And then bring your hips more onto a diagonal line so there's no torquing in the knee. And then we're going to work on this warrior flow to really strengthen up the legs. So breathing in, lift the sternum away from your beautiful babies. And as you exhale, bend the front knee right over the heel. You can take the hand onto the thigh, and the back hand roots the back hip downwards, so you've got your hip bones in a line with one another. And then we're going to lift the arms up on the in-breath and straighten the front leg. Ready? In-breath. And out-breath through prayer pose, back hand to hip, and front arm over the front leg. Excellent. Once more. In-breath. Be really mindful of the back leg. Press the back foot into the floor. Keep the back leg super straight so there's no distortion in the knee. And then keep the front knee over the joint. It's quite strong to stay here. Good. Then taking your right elbow onto the thigh, working on what we call side angle pose. Taking the tailbone to root it back towards the heel. Draw your babies up towards you. And then slightly open through the chest. You'll probably be feeling this in your legs now, and that's good. Coming up out of the position, use your breath. Inhale, press into the feet, and turn the feet forwards. Thankfully, one more side to go. So pivoting the feet to the opposite direction. Notice how I just turn the back foot in very slightly to keep the knee happy. Hips in alignment. Breathe in, and then bend the front knee over the foot. You're looking for a 90-degree angle. You might not get that, but looking for that eventually. Front hand presses into thigh, back hand roots the back hip down, so we've got that hips aligned. And then we'll flow with the arms. Straighten the front leg, in breath. Nose or mouth, prayer pose, out breath. Back hand roots the back hip. One more, in breath. And out breath. Good, and last time to hold, in breath. And again, being mindful of the back foot, rooting into the floor, particularly the outer edge of the foot roots down. And then lastly, side angle pose. Knee over heel, press the elbow down. Tailbone roots to your back heel. Draw your baby towards you. Lift your sternum up. And if you can, gently breathe here. Coming up on an in-breath, press the feet into the floor. Bring them to the front. And then simply turn to face where you started. Back into prayer pose. Namaste, and thank you for watching. And for more pregnancy yoga, subscribe to Body Talk.